Biden institutes a government-wide system of racial discrimination that dwarfs Jim Crow, and nobody seems to notice. But 24 hours ago it happened. Biden restructured the entire executive branch of the U.S. government to discriminate on the basis of immutable characteristics. What? He made that announcement on the White House website, and it proclaimed that within 30 days, every federal agency, all of them, from the Department of Justice to NASA to the Social Security Administration, all of them, all must, quote, ensure that they have a agency equity team within their respective agencies to coordinate the implementation of equity initiative. And these Maoist equity teams will report to something called the Gender Policy Council and the White House, quote, environmental justice officer.
What's that?
Before we get to this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds, gold outperformed all of them in 2022. So what are you waiting for? Noble Gold Investments have helped thousands of clients buy real physical gold. Open a gold IRA or a silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments this month and receive a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualifying IRA of $50,000. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold, and there are thousands of 5-star reviews. And if you're not ready to invest, download the Noble Gold Investments Gold Investment Guide. Scroll down below and you'll find the link in the description box. For mobile users, click the More button to find the link. Now, let's get to this video. See, once again, more woke jargon. I don't know what that means. So now you got environmental justice. See, all they do is they come up with these fancy new definitions and terms and these initiatives and say these are important because there's injustice. See, you throw injustice behind whatever, and then all of a sudden you can bubble wrap yourself with how crazy your policy might be because you're talking about injustice. So let's sling some type of victimized group into it and then say, now you can't criticize this, even though it's a stupid policy, but because it's environmental justice that apparently just only affects black people, you can't say nothing about it. So now we got environmental justice, we got economic justice, there's a whole bunch of justice going on. What it sounds like to me, though, it sounds like discrimination. It sounds like we're going backwards instead of forward because some diabolical people realize the best way to destroy a country is to divide them and to make sure that we create victims and make sure that the country is angry at each other and not focus on what the evil, diabolical people are up to. So let's see just how this is working, because I would think if they're so focused on hiring diversity people and making sure that this is a collective group of people and it's the Rainbow Coalition and all, I would think at least they would want this extraordinary league of woke folks to be competent and productive. So let's go ahead and check out the roster.
Here's how it works. Every single person in the United States will qualify for one of Joe Biden's many protected categories, except straight white men. So we're all in this together, except those guys who are on the outs. It's all of us versus them. Straight white men, they will not be protected because they are, by virtue of being straight and white and male, the cause of the problem. It's amazing if you think about it. And someday we'll all pause long enough to wonder how this could have happened in a country that claims to love the civil rights movement and build monuments to it. But that's in the future. For now, the White House just wants us to shut up and celebrate because henceforth, every official Joe Biden hires will be a first. Not the first in achievement, not the first in the class. No, better than that. Much better. First in appearance. The first person who looks a certain way or sleeps with a certain kind of person. The first in identity. That's what matters. The administration announced that after a grueling nationwide search, they had finally located a gay White House communications director. Hooray! The news was announced by America's first illiterate White House press secretary.
Now, you see what you get when you hiring first? When you're trying to say, you know what, forget about qualifications, effectiveness, productivity, all that stuff. We want to be the first to make it look like on the surface we're open-minded, we're progressive, we're diverse and stuff, and we love black people. And this is what you get when you hire for that and not for skill. Okay, so let's check out this first minority black gay press secretary. Let's see what we got for our money.
First, as you all know, she will be the first black woman, the first out LGBTQ plus person to serve in this role, which is amazing because representation matters.
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. The NORAD is part of like it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium, and so a pact, exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Did she just say in step with Canada? I mean, this is what they got? You mean to tell me they went out and recruited the Extraordinary League of Woke Folks, and this is what they got? This woman got up there sounding like Porky Pig, and yeah, that's what she sounded like. So it's sad when the commentator has to help you out. That NORAD, I understand what you're saying. No, you don't, because she don't even know what she's saying. But this is what you get, though, because you can't criticize her because she's black and she's gay. And she's the first black gay press secretary, even though she's the worst in history. But hey, she's a part of that Extraordinary League of Woke Folks, y'all. That's right, man. Hey, let's check out the rest of their squad.
And I look forward to welcoming Ben LeBolt. As you all know, he has been announced to replace Kate as communications director back to the White House. I also know that Ben is making history. As you know, we believe here in the Biden-Harris White House that representation matters. He will be the first openly gay communications director, which is very, very important indeed.
Why? Why is that important? What does that matter to me? I mean, you're the first black gay drop right there. I mean, press secretary. Now he's the first, I guess, gay communication director or whatever. Why is that important again? Why does that matter to me? And who is he representing? I mean, the large, overwhelming amount of gay folks in America? I'm not sure. If you wouldn't have told us he was gay, nobody would even care. We wouldn't be asking these, why is he gay? We want representation. How about you represent the United States? How about you represent everybody? But here you go again, adding more light on these issues than we care about. Nobody cares if this dude is gay. Only reason it matters is because you guys bring it up and try to shove it down our throats. Nobody cares. Okay, we're beyond that point where everybody's going, oh, he's gay. So she said representation matter, I guess, just like she is representing poorly. But hey, here we go. His superpower is not his skill set, his talent, but he's gay. Let's see how Tucker feels about this.
We weren't aware that a communications director's sex life had any bearing on his official duties, but then we don't know everything. Appearance is all that matters. Not only can you judge a book by its cover, yes, you can. From here on out, you're required to judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. This will be the first cabinet ever that is evenly composed with as many women as men in the cabinet. This will be the first cabinet ever with a majority of people of color occupying this cabinet. And it has more than a dozen history-making appointments, including the first woman Secretary of Treasury, the first African-American Defense Secretary, the first openly gay cabinet member, and the first Native American cabinet secretary.
This turns me off so much. I mean, I don't even understand how I ever voted for the Democrat Party. They think this stuff right here is appealing to people. Well, apparently it does work because people are voting for these idiots. So let me get this straight. You don't understand that these people are hiring these other people to pander towards the minorities out there and to make themselves look woke. You really think that they are hiring these people because they believe in diversity and equity? Isn't that interesting? They boast about all of this diversity and stuff, and we the first to have a black, native, pygmy, a super tall person, a person that has dwarfism, a person with a club foot. We got all of these things going on, and nobody cares about those things. We want to see what their real skill set is. What is their superpower besides being first black, and we got the most black, and we got the tallest and the shortest and the gayest and all of that stuff, and transgender? What is their skill set? What have they done? Are they competent? Well, we're about to find out what's really going on with this League of Extraordinary Woke Folks that the White House has put together, okay? Because, see, apparently those things matter, especially to Joe. Because, I mean, heck, remember, hey, if you ain't know who you're voting for by now, then you ain't black. See, because it doesn't matter what you think, what you believe, your brains and stuff. It's a matter of if you're black, then you belong to us, the Democrat Party, okay? Don't you get it? We're the woke party. Yeah, man. Don't you want to feel included and equality and all that stuff and this and that, even though we're just using that so we can manipulate you and get your vote and pander to you? Yeah. So we're going to see just how much they actually look into these people's ability.
So the question is it a good cabinet? Are they capable? No, that's not even relevant. Lloyd Austin, we should say, the Secretary of Defense, is definitely a first, and we're going to give him credit for that. He is the very first Secretary of Defense to spend millions of dollars shooting down thrift store balloons with missiles. That's never happened, and he did it. He's the first Secretary of Defense to hand the Taliban thousands of armored vehicles, drones, and helicopters to build them their own army for free. Nobody even thought of doing that before Lloyd Austin arrived. So you can't say Lloyd Austin hasn't broken important glass ceiling. He has.
Now, did y'all hear that? So there you have it, guys. I mean, at least he's black. At least he's black. But his resume and his productivity since he's been put in the White House is simply, he's black. There you go. Because everything else, this dude has stunk it up. So I'm wondering, what's the benefit of having the black dude in there's the first and he's the worst? Don't be the first and the worst like Kareem, see? But there's more because, see, remember, guys, it has nothing to do with your skill set. It's all about if you're the first. Now, what I don't get, because, you know, you got my man Lloyd right there. He's black. For all of these woke folks, including Joe and all the rest of these Democrats to talk about, you know, diversity and equity, if you were to need a serious surgery performed on you, like a spinal surgery, you know, maybe heart surgery. You know, Joe had surgery on his brain. Would you go in there and say, well, you know what? I don't want the white surgeon, even though he has more experience and all of that stuff. Give me the black guy, because he just came out of neurological school, and I want him to, you know, be the first to operate on me. That's what I want. You think that's what Joe would do? No. Joe would say, give me the one with the most skill, talent, and experience. But when it comes down to our lives, it doesn't matter. Hire folks based on perception, try to create a false reality that, look at us. This means equity. This means that we're fighting against injustice and racism and all of that stuff that we're just concocting up and all of that stuff. But we really don't care about that stuff. But that's what it means. Except when it comes to people that is going to be doing something for us or to us that we find very important. Then skill matters. Then experience matters. But for you guys, we'll bring in the League of Extraordinary Woke Folks that tears up the whole country, because we don't care about the country anyway. So there is Lloyd's superpower, his accomplishments, his claim to fame. Nothing. Rachel's next. Oh, let's see about this one.
Richard Levine was born a white man, which is to say an untouchable, the bottom of the caste system. That is bad. But here's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. With the help of a wig and some falsies, Richard Levine rose above his station. He is now a she, and she is now an admiral. Talk about inspiring. Watch this.
I am honored to serve as the first female 4-star officer of the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps.
There you go. Ladies, I mean, you okay with that? All you minorities out there, all you folks that is okay with this woke stuff right here. If you're a folk that's okay with woke, then you know you're a joke. You gotta be kidding me. Every female should be mad as this man is claiming to be the first female appointed to this position. So real females what? Now what happens when a real female gets appointed to that position? Do she just get pushed down to, like, you know what? You're not first. Because we got Rachel here. Rachel, full-blown grown man right there. He was actually the first. Okay. See, now if he'd have just remained a simple white man, then we wouldn't be celebrating him and he wouldn't even have the job. But because he decided to become a white woman, I guess, now he's celebrated as the first woman. So forget you biological females out there. You're not woke enough, okay? This guy right here trumps you. And now he's the first woman. Let's see his resume since he's been on the job.
Now, the great thing about Richard Levine's new identity is that it wipes away, it washes away, not to use theological language, all previous mistakes, otherwise known as sins. Those don't count anymore because Richard Levine is now Rachel Levine. So Richard Levine exposed nursing home residents to COVID in Pennsylvania, got a lot of them killed. He was a senior health official there. He evacuated his own mother from one of those facilities because, yeah, the plebes died, but not my mom. That seems like a bad thing. But now that he's wearing women's clothes, it's totally forgiven. That never happened.
See, there you go, guys. See, now that's another example of how these woke folk will give you the crumbs, the leftovers, but when it comes down to their people, give them the best. Go in there and get my mama out of there, because we wouldn't want my mama to get infected and not have me able to come and check on her and have her to die in the old folks home all by herself because, you know, we're forcing everybody to stay out of there. You know, we wouldn't want that to happen to my mom. Okay, we want her to have the best care. All right, but for the rest of you, just regular Americans, y'all get the scraps. Stay in there, old folks. And no, you can't go visit them. Don't you be talking about going in there and seeing your mom before she dies, okay? That's only for us. And yet this person's supposed to be celebrated. Yet this person's superpower is simply going from being a man to a man who thinks he's a woman, and then stinking it up on the job and trying to push gender neutrality and transgenderism on our kids while he's in office. There you have it. That's the quality of these folks that the Democrats are pointing to their cabinet, because it's all about woke folk. But let's continue checking out the rest of their superpowers.
Pete Buttigieg is supposedly the first gay cabinet secretary.
Yeah.
The fact that his tenure has been a disaster for the country,
True.
irrelevant. That mushroom cloud over Ohio, it never happened.
Never.
He's a first. Why?
I think we have more LGBTQ plus people than any administration or every administration combined. From day one, this has been the most pro-equality administration in history, led by guys like Pete Buttigieg.
Who? Pete Buttigieg.
Secretary Buttigieg, who needs no introduction, is doing an outstanding job of rebuilding America.
Really?
And I mean that in a literal
Does he
sense,
even know
and
who
not
he is?
just in terms of what he's doing in transportation, but he's helping rebuild pride in America.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the guy's last name. Pete Buttigieg. Excuse me, Pete Buttigieg. Look, he's gay. Okay, super gay.
That's all that
Just
matters.
shut up.
Y'all get it? See, if this ain't pandering on display, that man couldn't even pronounce his name. It don't matter. Just like he couldn't pronounce Taji Brown, Tangerine, Tahisha, the black lady. Couldn't pronounce her name. Hacked up Dr. King's son's wife's name. It doesn't matter. Yeah, brought in dang on Tyree Nichols' family. Tito, Tommy, whatever, your black son who got killed that we're using. And if George wouldn't have been held down on that curb. Yeah, they don't care. It's all about propaganda. It's all about pandering, and it's all about identity politics, which all is wrapped up in Marxist conflict theory. And now it's being put out there on display. So Pete Buttigieg's superpower is simply being the first gay transportation secretary. There it is, because all of his other powers seem to not be working, because we just had a mushroom cloud about 10 miles from where I live, and I'm concerned about that. And Pete Buttigieg was running around feeding his baby with fake boobs, taking paternity leave, and running around talking about environmental racism and all of that stuff. Let's see who else is a part of this League of Extraordinary Woke Folk.
No one has benefited more from these new standards, these very inflexible genetics-based standards, more than Kamala, whatever you're calling her, the vice president. Now, she hasn't, strictly speaking, been a success. She was supposed to keep the peace in Ukraine. That resulted in a war. She's supposed to secure the border. 7 million illegals later, you can't say she actually did a good job.
But
she's supposed to get Joe Biden's voting rights bill passed in Congress. She hasn't actually done a lot by traditional standards, but she's a first, and that means we are forever grateful for her.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for her for providing all of those laughs and gaffes. That's right. She has provided me laughter until the end of time. I'm here in Europe on this spot in Europe. See, because we have to work, because work is a part of working, and therefore we will continue to work together throughout whatever type of weather, because we want to be tough like leather. So therefore we want to work. All we do is work. See, and therefore the yellow school buses will then come as they work, and we all come together. And yeah, that woman, you're gonna see the moon with your own eyes. And who could forget that cackle? She's provided us nothing, absolutely nothing. But hey, she's black, I guess, or Jamaican or Indian. I don't know what she is. It doesn't matter. Whatever she needs to be for that particular moment for them to get brownie points. Let's continue, because she has no superpowers except for being, a witch, maybe, perhaps. Let's see.
And while we're at it, by the way, as long as we're trying to get clarification, it would be nice to get some other clarifications from our equity-minded leaders before the 30-day timeline on equity enforcement runs out. We're still waiting, for example, for our new Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, to tell us what a lady is. She doesn't know.
What? Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
What? You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. A woman can't provide the definition of what she is? I mean, it sounds like her superpowers is broke too. It sounds like her superpowers are simply being a black female judge in the first that don't know what a woman is. She got to be the first Supreme Court justice to not know what the definition of a woman is. Now, if that is true, that means she's extremely unqualified. How can you make good decisions when you can't even judge whether a man or a woman is different? You talking about, I need to be a biologist. I mean, what do you know? So because she's woke and she's a part of that, she had to either pretend to be extremely dumb or extremely deceptive because she knows what a woman is. But because she's a part of the extraordinary league of woke folk, she can't say that. So now she got to go ahead and take the dumb route. I'm going to run the risk of you all looking at me as just someone who was stuck in here because I'm black and I'm a black person who's woke and will fulfill and carry the agenda of the woke liberal party, these globalists, and this crazy agenda. Because I'm willing to do that, y'all will overlook the fact that I just sat here and told y'all I have no idea what the definition of a woman is. Yeah, because look at me, I'm black, I'm a black woman. So yeah, forgive me. Overlook that. But yet, if I was to go to court in front of her, I would be concerned about her judgment. I'd be like, wait, isn't this the judge that didn't know what a woman was? I mean, there's like 2 or 3 year olds that can tell that. How is she going to judge my case? That's my question. But hey, don't worry about it. Her skill set is being a black woman in the first. All right, let's see who else is on that roster.
This lady is now the Supreme Court, and that's not one of the hard questions,
that's
right?
easy.
Like, recite the Constitution from memory.
Yeah.
That might be a challenge. What's a woman? And she's down the Supreme Court, but by the way, she's not alone. We just had a federal judge,
what
we think Lindsey Graham voted for, in a hearing in the Congress who didn't know what was in the Constitution.
Get out of here.
But shut up. She was a first. We're going to judge that book by its cover and vote yes.
Tell me what Article 5 of the Constitution does.
Article 5 is not coming to mind at the moment.
What?
Okay. How about Article 2?
Neither is Article 2.
Oh my. But you know what? It doesn't matter because look at her. I mean, she has melanin in her skin and she has long black hair. She looks like she might have some Indian in her. Maybe Native American or Hindu. I don't know. I don't know what she is. See, that's the point. She's mixed with a whole bunch of stuff. But you know what? That's all we need to focus on. Forget the fact that this person doesn't know some of the fundamental things that she would need to know for that job because she's diverse looking. There you go. So shut your mouth, you racist, if you don't support her. Like dumb behind Rhino Lindsey Graham. Now we're not done, but we almost are because there's one more person they done brought into the league of extraordinary woke folk. Who could forget this wonderful diversity hire right here? Oh man, this is a beaut.
Official with the Biden administration is accused of stealing luggage from Harry Reid Airport.
Remember
Here's
him?
what we know so far. Metro issued a felony warrant on December 8th for Sam Brinton. Brinton's charged for grand larceny with a value between $1,500 and $5,000.
Pennywise.
The 35-year-old works for the Office of Nuclear Energy.
What?
According to the warrant, a woman who had traveled from Dulles International Airport outside Washington, D.C. to Harry Reid on July 6th couldn't find her luggage. She filed a police report on the 10th. Police identified Brinton as the suspect after seeing a news report about a luggage theft at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on September 16th.
Well, kiss my grits. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, man. The League of Extraordinary Woke Folk. See, yeah, that's their roster. All of those people that we just watched, how incompetent they are, how insufficient they are at their job, how much they embarrass the whole Biden administration. The Biden administration don't care because it's all about appearance, and they also know that their voters don't care. Their voters, for some reason, is brainwashed to go to sleep at night feeling good about their decision because they say, at least I'm supporting diversity and stuff, even though the whole world is imploding under the Biden administration, who hired a whole bunch of people who's gay, lesbian, transgender, the bisexual, black, the Indian, pygmies, and all of that stuff. That's what I feel good about. I feel good about all of that, not the high gas prices. No, I mean, that stuff doesn't matter to me, or the high inflation, or that big smoke cloud about 10 miles from here. All of that stuff don't matter. How about all those people coming in through the southern border and all of that stuff, and the fentanyl? We don't care about that, long as we have an eclectic group of cabinet members under Joe Biden. See, we're willing to tolerate all of this shenanigans. We're willing to overlook all of this incompetency and evil and corruption. We're willing to do all of that. We're willing to deal with all of the food hikes and all of that mess and the stupid war in Ukraine. We're willing to deal with that because what makes us feel good is looking at this array of people that the Biden folks have hired to represent all of us, not benefit us all, but represent us all in simply appearance, not in values, not in safety, not in the Constitution, not in true equality, because if you don't fall into this category, you mean nothing to them. As we heard when Tucker opened up, only white straight men, yeah, those guys right there, get them out of here. All of the rest of you, come one, come all, unto the tree of diversity, which is a rotten fruit. That's what that is. You might bite into one of those pieces of fruit right into a worm. And that worm is called Joe Biden and the whole Democrat Party. Now, God bless you. God bless America. Man, everything that's woke is a joke. Bottom line. But hey, you know, that's what they want. And this is what we get. That's the results. They have no real superpowers except for being diverse in color and race and sex and stuff. That's it. Now, hit that like button. Follow me on the other platforms. Please subscribe to my other backup channel. The link's below this video. Do that for me, man. I need y'all. We want to grow that channel real quick. Don't forget also, when you set your notification button on, turn it to all so you get all my notifications, even though you probably won't get them all. If you want to donate to my channel, feel free. There's links below the video to do that as well. All right. God bless y'all. God bless America. Don't forget, check out my podcast as well and follow me on Rumble. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.